Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome back to Sunshine for the Soul. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out with me today. If you're new here, I'm Cyndi, and I am so appreciative of you bringing your great energy and your vibes to this community. So today, you guys, a lot of big energies going on this week. We've got the Lionsgate portal closing. We've got the Sun conjunct in Venus as of the 13th. We've got Venus retrograde is continuing, and now, lo and behold, here comes the new moon in Leo on the 16th. Again, this month is really big energies. So today, like I said in my last readings, I want to start implementing a little bit of the astrology and the meanings behind these astral bodies and these planetary movements, that their energies influence our lives and give us the opportunity to utilize these energies. How convenient for the Creator to make all these cycles and bring all these energies in closer to us. That's kind of a pretty amazing concept when you think about that. But they've been hidden from us and we didn't know how to utilize them. So now that we're awakening, now that we know we're a spiritual, energetic being having a human experience, not a human having a spiritual experience, big difference between the two. Now we realize we're energy, and it's a whole new ball game on learning how to function in this 3D reality that we're in right now. So a little brief history on the new moon. It is in Leo. It's 23 degrees, and it's going to take place on the 16th at approximately 5:38 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The new moon, I dug into what the new moon was about. You know, we have the cliche stories and myths about new moons, but for myself, I really wanted to understand what a new moon meant. So the new moon marks the beginning of a lunar cycle. It takes approximately 29 and a half days for the moon to orbit our Earth. A new moon occurs when the moon is positioned between the Earth and the sun. So the sun and the Earth are on opposite sides of the moon. It's not a perfect alignment, or that would be a solar eclipse. That's when the moon gets in front of the sun, essentially blocks the sun. But during the new moon, the side of the moon that is facing Earth is the shadow side or the dark side. So that's why if you go outside, you'll have a pitch black night. You won't be able to see the light of the moon because it blends in with the darkness. It's the dark side of the moon, which is really interesting because, just a side note, a friend and I went up to this mountain range for the Perseids meteor shower this past weekend, and we sat in like a national park, and they played the dark side of the moon while we watched the Perseids meteor shower. It was very cool. Just Dark Side of the Moon, Pink Floyd. The moon is never continually dark or continually light. It has both day and night, but in half moon cycles. Basically, it gets 15 days of light on one side, approximately 15 days of darkness, whereas the Earth spins faster and gives us partial time of day and light every 24 hours. So what's the difference between a new moon and a full moon? That kind of intrigued me. These are opposites. When there is a new moon, we see the side of the moon that is dark, or the shadow side. So this is where there's no illumination from the sun. But when there's a full moon, we see the side of the moon that is bright or illuminated. So for the month of August, we had a full moon on August 1st. We're having another one on August 30th, 31st, which, by the way, is my birthday. Shout out to all the Virgos this month. We're getting a Virgo season. And then on the 16th, we have a new moon. So 2 full moons and a new moon in the month of August for 2023. These are big energies, you guys. This is a side note too, is that the moon, according to the Farmer's Almanac, shares its origins from the Latin word metri, which means to measure, and mensis, which means month. This is where kind of a female gender's menses cycle comes from. But the lunar cycle has an impact on human reproduction, in particular fertility, menstruation, and birth rate, which is very interesting. Like, those energies are directly connected with us biologically. Melatonin levels appear to correlate with a woman's menstrual cycle. We know that lunar cycles affect human biology by also influencing our sleep cycles, that melatonin that our body naturally produces. We know it affects human minds emotionally and psychologically. I was a charge nurse on an Alzheimer's memory care unit. I had 28 clients, and I can tell you right now, when we had full and new moons, things were batshit crazy. And when you're in healthcare, don't even talk about it. But it's kind of like a myth and kind of funny. It's a full moon. Wow, things are going to be nuts tonight. But the reality is the energies are so increased that the mind of an Alzheimer's patient would be very sensitive to those changes in energy. So that's why those evenings got a little hairy-carry, all right? That's all I'm going to say. So we know now and understand that not only does the energy of the moon pull the oceans and cause the tides, but we know it affects us on an emotional level. We know that it affects us on a physical level, and we also know that it affects us on a spiritual level. So the new moon represents the beginning of a new chapter. Opportunities and situations may pop up during a new moon and be incredibly meaningful and reveal opportunities just right for you to pick. It connects us with our intuition and our emotions. And in tarot, the moon card is number 18, and that symbolizes things hidden below the surface, secrets, or things we cannot see. So the moon's energy, we become more in touch with our intuition. We can see things clearly, intuitively, rather than relying on what we see in the 3D with our physical eyes, opposed to using our intuition, which is our third eye. So this new moon, which is in Leo, is the opportunity to spiritually connect us, to bring us joy, happiness, self-love. It can reconnect us to our life's true purpose according to our natal birth chart and that blueprint we designed for this experience we are having here on Earth. This is a time for manifestation. It's a time for setting intentions, and it's time for writing a new chapter or just throwing it out and writing a whole new book. It is up to us. See you over there. All right, Gemini, let's see what we've got for you today. I'm pulling 4 cards. I'm doing a general energy, that which is ending in the past, that which is beginning, that's right around the corner, and then what the universe says in regards to what spiritual lesson or teaching that we can get out of this situation. And the first card out I've got is number 9, the Hermit. Now, the Hermit's been coming out in a lot of readings for a lot of readers, and we've got a divine masculine here. This is Virgo energy. We see the bookshelf behind him. There's tons of books on that shelf, and he's been doing research late into the night. The candle and the crescent moon light the way so he can work late into the night, and this shows that he's been at it for a long period of time, as his extremely long hair has grown and turned gray. He even loses track of time often in the long hours that he's spending researching topic after topic. He has had an insatiable thirst for knowledge, and he's been in a time of intentional isolation. As we go through a spiritual awakening, we all of a sudden have this insatiable appetite to learn things, and the universe seems to just give us one subject after another, and then you look back after a year and you see how all these topics are conveniently connected. So we do have a character, could be divine masculine, could be a Virgo or someone with a lot of Virgo in their chart, and they have gone through a time of introspection. They have hunkered down and spent the time maybe getting to know themselves, getting to heal themselves, researching certain areas of situations in their lives that they want to better themselves at. Good Hermit energy here, card number 9. So let's ask, what is the Hermit, possibly a Virgo, researching? What is he digging into? What is he trying to learn about during this time of introspection? And we've got the 7 of Pentacles. That's Capricorn energy. Pentacles and coins are associated with our material aspects. And you see here we have a really cute little bearded fellow. He has a proud look on his face for all the hard work he has put into growing and putting his energy towards planting seeds in his garden, and now he's excited about seeing the fruits of his labor. Because of all the hard work he's put in, he's been diligent and determined, and here he's pausing for a moment and he reflects on the journey and he sits in a state of gratitude. That's very important, that we sit in a state of gratitude. It's easy to look at the things that we lack, or the things that we don't have, or the things that we want, or the things that didn't go right. But the universe reminds us here that we should constantly be sitting in a state of gratitude for all the experiences that we're able to have. So the next card that I pulled, clarifying the Hermit, is the Two of Cups in the reverse. Now, Cups are a water element. It's about our emotions. And the Two of Cups in reverse, the Two of Cups upright is about unions and partnerships of all kinds. It can be about a soulmate. It could be about a romantic partner. It could be about collaborating with somebody, co-creating, coming together. This doesn't necessarily have to mean it's a relationship. We can see it's depicted by a divine feminine and masculine. These two energies can represent many different types of union. But in this case, in the reverse, this is disharmony. This is an imbalance in a relationship. This is separation where the union was disrupted. And we see that we're asking what the Hermit is researching. So we see he's been planting seeds. And it seems to me like it is about something that didn't quite work out. Something that they wanted and desired, but there was an imbalance that caused a separation. All right, and now we have the Three of Cups. So we're building in sequence from the Two of Cups to the Three of Cups. And the Three of Cups is a celebration. This is communication. This is wanting a sacred, magical connection. This character is working through planting the seeds on how to go from not being in union, not being in communication, to being in communication with someone or some opportunity that they have to co-create. So let's recap what we've got so far. We've got a Hermit character, possibly a Virgo, who may have a lot of placements in Virgo in their chart. This has been a time of isolation. It's been a long period of time researching, learning, studying, soul searching. We asked the universe, what is the Hermit researching or studying? And he has been busy growing, planting seeds. He's been working hard in the garden of better knowing himself, and in this moment feels very proud of his accomplishments. The Two of Cups to the Three of Cups tells us that he's been researching possibly about soulmate or maybe a twin flame connection, like a soul connection, and how to turn a situation of disharmony and imbalance where there's been no communication into celebrating, having joy, abundance, friendship, and communication. So this character has been on a mission. In the past, that which is ending. Let's take a look at that. And we've got the Six of Wands in the reverse. Now, interesting enough, this card depicts a union, a celebration, a wedding, even with two people. Usually a warrior or a soldier riding along in victory and triumph and the crowds cheering him on is how this Six of Wands is depicted. But in this case, it is depicted by a couple celebrating getting married. So in the reverse, that which is ending is that this was not perceived as a victory. There was no coming together in union. There may have been fears that came up, pessimism about whether they could have success. This doesn't have to be about love. Energy is fluid. This could be about, a partnership or going and taking on a new task with somebody, deciding you're going to travel with somebody, deciding you're going to build a business with somebody. Be open to seeing this in a slightly different perspective, for you, how it applies to you. What's ending is that this idea or this negative emotional thoughts that a character may have had, there can't be victory in this area of life. If there was no harmony in union or cooperation before, it was because there wasn't enough known about the person or situation. There was no seeds or steps taken to ensure success of this union. There was not enough communication, and this has ended. Okay, that's what's ending in this reading, Gemini. So what's beginning? What do we see this new moon bringing? The new moon brings things hidden below the surface. It brings a fresh start. It brings a new beginning. And we've got the Ten of Swords in the reverse. Tens are about endings of cycle. And this person who was once in excruciating agony and pain, who had felt a devastating loss, hit rock bottom, is now in recovery. All right, so this Hermit, this Virgo energy is healing, taking steps in his personal growth. He's becoming more self-aware, and he's taken action on planting seeds and creating the life that he desires. He no longer looks at a connection as a hopeless lost cause or a missed opportunity. And to me, it seems like he knows in his heart that he can have victory in this connection and in his life. So now we're going to ask the universe, What is your take on this situation? What is your advice? What do you want us to see in this message, in this tarot reading? What is the spiritual teaching that we can find out of that? And we've got the Eight of Cups. And this is depicted as a divine feminine, but the roles can be reversed. The Hermit can be a divine feminine also, or it could represent both the divine feminine and the divine masculine, because we have both within. But she walked away alone. She left behind 8 cups in search of the last 2. This energy was one about finding and connecting, back to source and back to finding themselves again. The moonlight guided their path. They let go in search of something greater, gave up the reins and let the universe guide them along this journey. They learn to trust the process, learn to have faith in leaving behind those old thoughts, those old belief systems that no longer resonated with us, that told us that we weren't worthy of having our heart's greatest desires fulfilled. It looks to me like these two had been willing to do the work. They had been willing to take the time in isolation, research, to study, to soul search, and sit in introspection, and actually put in an effort to do their healing. They'd been willing to forgive for the time and separation and the lack of communication that may have transpired between the two of them. To acknowledge and correct those things about ourselves that no longer resonate with the person we are becoming. This allows us to raise our frequency to higher vibrations. People, places, and things will magically, unexpectedly leave our life because they are no longer a vibrational match for us. They have their own journeys to explore, and sometimes we have to let people go, or we have to let them go for a certain period of time so that they can walk their own journey. They can find their own path. Seems to me like these two characters knew that if they took the shot for the moon, if they put themselves out there to try to manifest what they wanted, that either way they were going to land among the stars. There's never any loss in trying to better ourselves. There's no failure in learning lessons. There's no missed opportunities ever, because energy is fluid and it is constantly moving, and we constantly have every day the choice to make new decisions for ourselves. We have free will as a spiritual energetic being, and we choose the experience we have. We choose the reality that we want for our future. If this resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe. Putting your energy towards this community helps it grow, and it's as easy as smashing that like button. That helps the algorithms, so these messages to help others spiritually awaken can get out there. And just by liking and subscribing, that's doing your part, putting your energy towards a greater and common cause. And we love and appreciate you for that. We will see you guys at your next reading, and I hope you enjoyed this tale. Peace.